Okay. I have a question. So, while you're in prison, you say you're in the Word and you're trying to be as close to God as you can so that, He can be your strength and everything you need to get through the process. So, tell me what it's like. What's the difference between trying to be close to the Lord while you're in prison and now being out of prison? Are there any challenges that you face that make it a little bit different from your walk with the Lord while you were in prison?
Um, that's actually a good question. And I'm really glad you asked it. Let me say this. Do you have you ever noticed like that people come to the Lord when they're under pressure?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Families when they about to get kicked out of the house, or um, a situation arises, uh, the head of the household, grandmama, or grandfather, or somebody is about to die, and
Mm-hmm.
the family bunches up. They come together, and God starts being the forefront.
Yeah.
Um, I think that is the main reason. When you're under pressure and when you have nowhere to turn, you know what I'm saying. I always say, I like to say that whenever you all the way down, and then when you ain't got nowhere else to look but up. I done heard a lot of preachers say that. When you hit your bottom, ain't nowhere else to look but up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's prison. The thing about prison is whenever you get locked up, that you on that bottom for a long time, usually.
Mm-hmm.
So every day is one of those pressure days that somebody out here might go through for a week or 2 weeks. You know what I found out here is, I mean, it's basically the same thing. Grandmama's sick. Everybody comes together. They go to church. They start praying for grandmama. They don't see no increase or they don't see no changes, and then they start falling off. It's the same thing with prison. You got 10 years, 8 years. You get in the word 5 years, you get in the word for them 5 years because that's where your comfort is. You start, because you know that there's comfort there.
Yeah.
Everybody who loves the Lord knows that there's comfort there. And so you get in that comfort and you start to live in it. You know what I'm saying? You start recognizing who you're around. In prison, the difference, you've been put in um, a foreign land. You know what I'm saying? So now you want to find people of like mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you start surrounding yourself with those type of people. You know what I mean? So it's Christians. And it's guys who really love the Lord. And you start living because there's comfort there. You start talking to them and y'all got the same stories. God did this. God did this for you. He did this for me. The Lord is moving. Where out here, it seems like we only do it, you know what I mean, when something happens. So it's like individual places. Something happening to this family. Somebody died over here. You know what I mean? Somebody can't pay the rent, or their car broke down and they need money, or you know what I mean, a child, whatever the situation is. And then it's only for a moment. It passes quicker out here than it does in prison. So I think that we not really recognizing what's really going on. I mean, it's a moment out here, but in there it's a time period. It's a
Mm-hmm.
set time. And so when the time comes after you done this, and you see the Lord moving, you in prison. I'm talking about somebody in prison now. You in prison. The Lord is moving every day, and you know it, cause you waking up every day. You ain't had no fights. You praying, and God is moving on your family situations. You know what I mean? A situation arises there, and He comforts you. You know what I mean? Somebody passes away, and you doing better in there than the people are out there that are able to see Him off. Because you look for the one comfort, which is, Lord, what happened? What did you do in their life? That's where the comfort is. Lord, what did you do in grandmama's life? You know what I mean? Well, she loved the Lord, and we know she confessed with her mouth and believed with her heart. Mm-hmm. So we know she's saved, and there's comfort in that.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't in prison soaking, because whenever you go to the body, which the body is easy to find in there, and you go to somebody that loves the Lord, let me make it plain too. And guess what they gonna say? Well, the first thing come out of her mouth was she saved. Oh, and then the next thing is she went home. Then we can walk around prison and look at everybody else who ain't gonna go home if they pass.
Mm-hmm. So can you give us some examples that people can relate to? Because I know a lot of people who are, supporting loved ones who are in prison. Say their loved ones come out. What are some of the things that we do that we may not necessarily be mindful of that are just reflections of the world? I know a lot of times maybe just we can give discouraging advice, or, I know you said when you first got out, your thing was riding the bus and making sure you use whatever, mode of transportation you had to use to get what you needed to do. But, some people may discourage you from riding the bus, or it's like the world has its own way of thinking. And does that just seem to kind of come at you when you come out?
I say it does. But God has okay, let me just give you some examples when I was saying that. Like whenever I came out, I came out New Year's Eve. So of course I couldn't do nothing New Year's Eve. I couldn't do nothing New Year's Day. Everything's closed. You see what I'm saying? But the second, January the 2nd, I hit the ground running. All this stuff I've been studying, and what I recognize that God said, if you be diligent, things are going to happen for you. To put it in layman terms, but you look up start reading Proverbs and Psalms and some of these books and see what they say about diligence. It's a tool. So, okay, I come out and I start putting the ball in other people's court. Okay, I need this. So I went to the food stamp office, boom, fill out the forms, put it in. Now let me see what they say. While I got that going on, okay, boom, I go get me an application, fill out application, put it in. Go get me another application, fill it out, put it in. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and I was hearing stuff like this. This was from people that was close to me. Family members, people, you know what I'm saying? I had to stay with my sister when I first got out. I didn't get no halfway house. I had to do all my time as far as that, flattened it, as far as, with the extra little 6 months or whatever, halfway house.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to beat, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate my sister, but that is not where I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
I needed my own. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get comfortable with other people paying my bills and doing all this stuff. So I had to get my own. So I hit the ground running. So I would hear stuff like, man, dang, sit down. What you mean sit down?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you riding the bus and all these people. What you mean?
Yeah.
See, let me tell you something. People will say that to you, right? And they'll have a car, right? But you keep asking them for a ride, guess what they gonna say next? They might not even say it to you. They're going to say it in a roundabout way to somebody else until they feel like you done pissed them off, where you open the door for them to say what's really on their heart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, he ain't gave me, oh, man, I took him down west and I brought him back. He gave me $2. You see what I'm saying? That's the world's way of thinking. But at the same time, they ask you why you catching the bus. It's a double standard. And God has allowed us to see it. You've seen it in prison. And I'm talking to y'all who just got out, like me. Don't fall for the world's double standard. They was doing that when you were selling drugs. You'll be around them and, oh man, oh look at this drug dealer boss. Hey, man, they genocide on the community. And then at the same time, they'll turn around and say, oh man, yeah, dude take care of his family. Dude do this, blase this and that. Or call you and ask you for something. Which I'm not saying that, I mean, you know what? Nothing right about me selling drugs. Nothing right. But I'm just saying you can't fall for that. You got to come back out and you got to have the same mindset that you had in prison. And that was, first of all, if I can work, your mindset should be, because you're not working for these people, you're working for God. The thing is that the people get the benefit off of God's work.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's what's happening. You growing businesses off of what God has done in your life. Mm-hmm. These people are benefiting off of what God has done in your life. You representing the Lord. You know what I mean? You washing dishes. And is this dish good enough for God to eat off of? That should be your mindset. You cutting grass. Is this grass cut right enough, good enough for, could this be the Lord's line? You see what I'm saying? You wiping toilets. Would God sit on this toilet? Because that's who you work for. And then whenever your mindset is like that, people wonder, man, you know what I mean? To hear another double standard from the world. Man, why are you working so hard? Oh, man, you're doing that for $7 an hour?
Yeah.
That ain't no way I'm going to clean them toilets like that for no $7 an hour. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you a kingdom man. You're a king. We kings and priests. That's what the Lord says about us. So we got to represent like that. You can't fall for the world's double standard. Let the world keep doing what they're doing. You start where God had you at. The only difference is now the door is open. You ain't got to go through the guard. You don't need the guard's favor no more. God's favor reaches way beyond that. Every promise he done put in there for us is for us. So these double standards go with whenever you start hanging with people. You start hanging with them hustlers, man. Same thing. Double standard. Yeah, man, you need to go see them people, man. You need to be on time. You want to hit this? Here, man, they'll give you a pack, man. And they know that them people holding 20 years over your head. 15. You just got out. Your family is happy. You got to be kingdom minded. You remember that? If you was walking with the Lord, you got to be kingdom minded. If you wasn't walking with the Lord, now it's time to surround yourself with people who love the Lord, so they can help you be kingdom minded. This stuff the world has got ain't nothing. It's passing away. You can't take it with you. Go to the graveyard and look at it. Look how many people done came through this world, man. The only thing you want is that eternal gift. What Jesus did for us. That's the only gift you want to hold on to. And then you need to reach out and try and pull as many as you can. And you tell that one to grab a hold of somebody. And you tell him to grab a hold of somebody. The Bible says a man who wins souls is wise. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing gonna last. What Jesus done for us.